Hey everybody, just wanted to kind of follow on from yesterday where we glued up some sprinters. I kind of wanted to run through and have a quick video for you guys about how I prep my tires. Prep meaning sand them and get them broken in and kind of to the pin height that I'm looking for. The classes that I run at Motorama are modified late model and sprint car. We're towards the end of the sheet. And by the time that we usually get out on track, the track is already grooved up pretty well. So I'm looking for more of a low to medium pin height on these. And kind of the area that I'm looking for is on a sprinter, you'll see that a pin is connected, 3 pins are connected by a little bar. And that little bar, what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for that bar to just begin to feather over. So I did one earlier here. This is a right rear. You can kind of see the height that these got going on. It's nice to have options. So we didn't really wear out tires that crazy last year. So it's nice to have options for this kind of stuff. Basically what it did was, in practice, I was able to practice the late model first, then the sprint car, and then we went into seeding round. So you kind of have to have your stuff prepared and ready to go and know what to do. So looked at the track, said, okay, it's grooved up already. I don't want a full pin, but I don't want a slick. So you do need something where kind of it's in the middle. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for here. Just to have an extra set in case I needed them. The process that we're going to go through here. So like I said, I've got my sprinter chucked up in a drill. This is the left front tire. So the outside of the wheel's over here. I've got it chucked up in a corded drill, just a cheapo one from Walmart. Get you one that has a variable speed on it, so you can kind of modulate and get to a higher speed if you want, but I really don't want too high of a speed. So this is a left front tire, so normal direction of travel is going to be that. I'm going to start by going the opposite direction with my homemade sanding stick that has it's a 3-inch wide scraper. You want a stiff scraper, and on the coarse side this is 120 grit, and on the fine side it's 220 grit. And there's kind of no rhyme or reason why I picked those 2 grits. It's just kind of, that's what felt right for this job. But we're going to do a left front tire. So I'm going to spin it backwards to start. And I recommend clearing out your space because it's going to make a god-awful mess. Unless you want fuzzies all over everything. Yeah, get yourself some room to work. And being a left front tire, spinning the opposite direction, spinning this way, I like it so where the contact patch spins away from me. So there's going to be, I'm going to be putting the pedal on top to start. Yeah, let's just get going here. I'm going to kind of spin it about that quick and just apply, light pressure. So what you can kind of tell as you do this, the pin of the tire will get what I call fuzzies. Basically where as it's spinning against the sandpaper, it's going to drag, and the back side of the pin is going to have a little fuzzy on it. What I try to do is, like I said, get to a height where I feel comfortable. Then we're going to spin it in the opposite direction, the correct direction for the tire. So this being a left front tire, it's going to spin this way. And then we'll come at it with a fine grit. And then hopefully the idea is we'll get those fuzzies off. But again, for now, just still trying to get to the height. So I'm going to use my coarse sandpaper to get to the height I'm looking for. And just looking to see where I need to kind of put more pressure or apply it for more time. It looks like I need to hit kind of this inside part a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to kind of bias. All right, so, got to the height where I'm going to feel comfortable. I'm going to flip the direction of travel now, so it's actually going in the direction it's going to be running on the car. And again, I want it pointing away from me, so now I'm going to go underneath of it. Because I still need to get to a height that I'm looking for, I'm still going to use the coarse sandpaper on this side. Kind of reposition myself where I can see a little bit better. All right, that's looking okay. I'm going to hit it now with a little bit more pressure on the fine side of the sandpaper. This is kind of where it gets difficult. You got to kind of figure out where to hold this drill, where it works best for you. So I'm holding the drill against my leg pretty firm, just so I can apply a little bit more pressure on the tire. All right, so once you get to a height where you think you're close, just get some Gorilla Tape, and I recommend Gorilla Tape or something like it. Don't use duct tape because duct tape really doesn't work for this. And we're going to lay it on the wheel or the tire really firmly and really tight. Tear yourself off a piece and then push it down on the wheel nice and tight. Find the edge, and it's going to stretch. Don't be afraid. There's no compound in this. Yes, it's a super soft tire, but I don't recommend doing this process if you sauce the tire at all. It's just, you don't get good results. Things kind of get gummy. You're heating the tire up, so it doesn't really work out that great if you can't avoid it. But again, you're gonna rip this off. Lose my chuck. You're gonna rip off the tape here. Try and not curl it like that, so that way you can reuse it, because you're gonna want to do this a couple of times. And what you got going on here is all of those black spots there are the fuzzies that I was talking about off the front of the tire, or off of the tread of the tire. So, I don't know if you can kind of pick it up on the camera, but let's see. It's starting to feather over a little bit better that way. So what we're going to do is keep going again with the fine sandpaper, so that we can get more of a direction in this tire going. And again, this is a slow process, but just take your time. You don't want to go too much because obviously you can't put rubber back on the tire. Also, something that I said yesterday with the gluing tires, the left front is the least important tire on these cars. This tire could be bald and I would be totally fine with it. As far as my setup goes, you know, the camberling's been falling off of the car and it runs just fine. So being the left front tire, this is a tire I recommend starting on. It kind of gives yourself a little bit of practice. You can really kind of figure this out. And if you go too far, it's not that end of the world with the left front tire. So I'm going to just hit it again. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because I'm trying to get this process done using the fine side. And again, all I'm trying to do is just knock off these fuzzies here. Okay, that's looking better. Get some more tape. There's my tape. Kind of do it in both directions. To tape this down and rip it in both directions helps as well. That way you can pull the edge of the fuzzy from both directions and really try to get it off the tire, because you don't want any of that on the tire as you're trying to race. Yep. See, that's looking pretty good. So kind of to get your the edge that you ripped with and kind of go around the tire and pull any extras that didn't come off. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you don't want the entire tire being that way. So, like I said, I'm pretty happy with that, the way that tire came out with. If you go a little heavy-handed on the glue, what I recommend is, where'd it go? There it is. Just get a piece of red Scotch-Brite, and if you're heavy-handed on the glue like I was with this tire, you can soften up the glue on the sidewall, inside and outside, with the Scotch-Brite, and that kind of helps it so you're not running a glued sidewall, because, you know, we're running, air quotes, loose dirt. So you don't want the sidewall, you want as much flex in the sidewall, as much grip in the sidewall as possible. But again, this being a left front tire, I'm going to run it in the direction that it travels on the car. And again, I'm not trying to really clean it up. I'm just trying to soften up that glue on the sidewall. Go slow so you don't catch your fingers in anything. And that's one prepped, ready for practice left front. And again, you know, I've already done 3 out of the 4 tires of this set, so now that these tires have a direction, you know, I've marked them all previously, so now that these tires have a direction, it's really important that you put them on the right side of the car, because they're broken in a certain way. Let's see, any last minute comments that I have. No, just take your time. Again, consistency. When I say consistency, I mean, you know, use kind of the same grit sandpaper for processes, go the same direction all the time, you know, try to kind of turn into a robot when you're doing these things and you're doing everything the exact same every time. That way you end up with consistent results. You'll be able to put the tires on the track and sort of know what's going to happen before you even go out there. So hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you guys are enjoying these little, I don't want to say how-tos because it's not the only way to do it, but it's how I do it. All right, we'll see everybody at the racetrack.